Today I want to bring you something utterly bonkers, utterly crazy, complete madness and total over the top. You can see from the grille here, it's got a GTR badge on it. And maybe you can get a bit of an idea from these headlights, although it's been recontoured. Underneath there somewhere is an R35. First of all, let's look at the name, Crewch. This is a Japanese tuning shop that you probably haven't heard of, or at least I hadn't heard of. Anyway, they can't wait for an R36, so they have built the R356 GTR. So we've got R35 and R36 all mixed in. Concept design. This is just a concept. It isn't going on the road and you can't order and buy one. Next thing, I'm going to stand back and let you look at that car, because that is a madness. And then I'm going to walk you right round to the side and look at the side, because that is even more madness. I'm going to save the back end till later, because the back end for me is the best part. We'll get round there in a minute. So next up we have something completely crazy, over the top mental, and I'm going to show you right here. This is the Crewch R356 GTR. Security are lobbing me out again, but we can stand here at least. That is completely over the top mental. We'll zoom in a little bit and show you what that looks like. Man, that is nuts. That's my first impression. That is completely and utterly bonkers. The story with this car is a Japanese tuning shop called Crewch, and they have built a look at the next generation GTR, an R36. They've used elements of the R35, they've used elements of like the concept cars, the crazy ones like Hypercar, and they've come up with this, and that is just completely mad. And from a distance, that is looking insane, but they've got to get it off that pallet and get it rolling, and then we'll have a closer look at it. So this crazy mental R35 Batmobile space monster isn't going to come off this pallet easy, and in fact they've wheeled it from the container to here on the pallet, and we can see it in the light here, and that looks absolutely insane. That is riding super high, which is a good thing. Look at those 25-inch wheels. That is crazy, and this thing actually works. What I said before about the R35 lights, now they're lit up and giving us the extra feel of the R35. But these exhaust exits, they are absolutely mental. It really is like a race car of years gone by, or a hypercar, to be honest, of the current era. That is mental. First of all, we're going to look at this front end and try and work out what the heck is going on. And the second thing I need to say here also, this is based on a 2013 donor car. So we can see bits of R35 here and there, but not a lot. We can see part of the R35 headlight, but man, look at the way the wing comes right out here like this. It stretches right out, and then it looks like they got some sort of light in there. It's got a bit of damage on the journey, and then we've got these huge meshes there and this big piece splitting it up. Then we've got a splitter on the front, which is really contoured and profiled and flips up to allow the air to go under the body. This is all covered and flat, and then we've got a grille and a GTR badge in there. A little bit of R35 there, but not an awful lot. Let's just pull away again and look at that front end, because that is pure madness. And then we get to the side, and these crazy pieces here kind of remind me of like a 1970s Italian lavish concept car. They flow right out into this wide body wing, and you can see it's got like a barge board effect here where the airflow comes out. And these wheels are 24-inch. That is unbelievable. I don't know what to say, to be honest. We've got 24-inch wheels, split rim, 5-spoke. We've got big, massive Nissan calipers, discs, bells, the full works. And you can see everything going on behind with the suspension, which all looks fairly stock. This is a concept. We can see the A-pillar here. We can see the R35 roof style, and you can see the R35 quarter light, but it's all been built out The C-pillar has been built out. You can see the original door handle in there, but it's got a bezel over it, and you can see some of the R35 styling that has been built out, and it flows out almost like it's a monocoque there. On the back end, it's even more crazy. It's got 25-inch rims, and it's right down on air. And this thing actually drove in here under its own power. I watched it come in. I wasn't sure when they got it off the pallet where they were going to push it in, but this is a proper working car that drives in here, even if it was fairly slow and in first gear. And then we get to the back end, which for me is the best bit. And you can see we've got the R35 glass there, but it's all been built up here, built up there. And then it's got kind of a dorsal fin here, which is actually split with a small section here onto the glass. So you can flip the whole boot up, and it's contoured here because it lifts up here, and you can see the height over the original R35. Then we've got this gigantic low rear wing that flips right down. And then we get to the back end, and that is madness. That reminds me of a hypercar, something like that, or a GT3 car, something like an Audi R8, where it's all meshed out to get the air out, to reduce drag, to cool it all down. And we've got these two gigantic exhaust exits with this alloy bezel around them on either side. They look absolutely amazing. And then we've got this gigantic flowing diffuser that wraps up and down, and everything's contoured and curved. And we've got this massive Venturi tunnel there. So you can see it's a two-layer hanging down underneath race car style and separated from the body race car style. I'm expecting to see a rain light in here, but no. We've got this really interesting detail feature. This pillar that rises right up, supports the rear wing in the middle, and then goes in to that dorsal fin. That is completely and utterly crazy. That back end is absolutely mental. And then just to add some sanity into all this madness, they've got the R35 light still there. That curves around like an R35, and it injects some reality, injects a bit of sanity, and I really like it. It all offsets each other really well. Then we come round the back end, and you can see how the diffuser flips out into this aero piece. We've still got a filler here, but I don't know what to say. This car is completely and utterly crazy. The idea Crewch says they want to look at an R36, and Nissan have done some crazy stuff. Crewch have harnessed all that, taken an R35 and come up with this absolute madness. And to be honest, I really like this as well. I think this has got a lot of really interesting stuff going on. I mean, some of it is completely and utterly nuts, like 24-inch wheels on the front, 25-inch wheels on the rear. But there's a lot of interesting thinking into this car. And this tuning shop, obviously, they're not a household name. They're rocking the boat. They're making a name for themselves. This was at Tokyo Auto Salon earlier this year. Now it's come down here, and it's going to rock people completely. I'm actually making this video on the Wednesday, on the unloading day. You can see the halls are virtually empty. All there is the cars that have come from Japan, unloaded on today, which you saw in my other video. We've got an Evo, an Impreza, we've got an MX-5, and hiding down there, I think we've got an RX-7 as well. That's all the cars. So they've come up to make a show at this show this weekend, make an impression, make a splash, and they're going to do that. I say I'm making this video in advance, although you're seeing it later, and definitely this car has made an impression on everyone. So I'm going to finish at the front end of this car. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just absolutely madness, and the different angles you look at it, you get more out of it as well. Anyway, on that note, I am done. So, as I always say when I get to the end of my video, thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. If you like this video, if you like this walk around, please hit me a like. And you got anything to say, any ideas on what Nissan should do for an R36? Are there good ideas on that? Should they be looking at that? Please throw me a comment down below. I'm always interested to hear people's opinion, what they think and where they think Nissan should be going. And for a lot more content like this, please subscribe if you want to see crazy far out stuff. But I also do normal stuff as well. So that's it. I'm done with this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.